I admit it. It was a stupid thing to do, but it just seemed like a good idea to me at the time.
One popsicle, 2 kids. I just hope Kim can get the grape juice off the ceiling.
Oh, I just hope little Al and CJ don't grow up to be like big business tycoons. Who knows what they'd fight about then?
And what's wrong with being a big business tycoon?
Pa! Hi, hey, come on in. Hey, Sarah and I were just babysitting little Al, so we thought we'd bring him over to play with CJ for a while.
Yeah, it might not have been such a good idea. Maybe you could give us a tip or two, Asa.
I don't have any time for babysitting. I came here to talk to my other son.
Clint's not here. I was with him earlier, but he left for the banner, I thought.
He left all right, but he didn't go to the banner. And I'm not too happy he's not back by now.
Why, Asa? Where did Clint go?
He went to Georgia. He demanded the jet to fly to Elvira in a thunderstorm. Because of Roger and Viki. Damn it, Sarah, where does your father get off putting moves on Clint's wife?
You happy, Gordon? This what you wanted? My wife has run off and my marriage is hanging by a thread. You must be in hog heaven.
Well, just listen.
No, that's been my big mistake, listening to you. Like when you told me, swore to me, that I could trust you, that your relationship with Viki was strictly business, and the first chance you get, you maneuver her into bed.
Now, wait a minute.
No. I've had a belly full of you being the noble gentleman to my face and then running around my wife behind my back.
You know why Victoria ran out of here? Because you stormed in here thinking the worst without giving her a chance to explain.
Explain what? I saw what I saw, Gordon.
You saw what you wanted to see. Now, if you would listen for 2 seconds, I'll tell you exactly what went on between Victoria and me. Absolutely nothing.
Nothing. One bed's been slept in, breakfast for 2, and my wife running around in here in a slip. What the hell do you take me for?
Why are you defending her, Brenda? No, you're forgetting everything she did to both of us.
Mr. Graham, take your seat
no, she
now.
wasn't temporarily insane. She planned everything, right down to the last detail.
Sheriff,
she
remove
doesn't deserve
Mr. Graham.
sympathy. She deserves a prison sentence. Come on. No, listen to me. I know Gabrielle Medina better than anybody, and she's not insane. She's heartless. She's calculating. She's completely depraved, that's all.
You've got the greatest wife in the world, and you don't even know it.
Don't you tell me about my wife.
She's sworn her love to you, not once, but time and again. But I guess you've forgotten that. You've let your jealousy twist the facts.
I saw the facts I had to see.
Yeah, well, here's a fact you missed. Victoria stayed in this room last night because there were no other rooms available. I spent the entire night down in the lobby.
Oh, you expect me to believe that?
You can verify it with the desk clerk.
You probably started out in the lobby, but when I found you, you were in here with my wife, and she was running around wearing next to nothing.
Look, I must confess, I brought up the breakfast. After breakfast, Victoria and I sat on this couch, drinking coffee, waiting for the driver to come and take her to the airport so she could go home. She spilled coffee on her blouse. Then she went into the bathroom to wash it off. That's when you came to the door. Victoria was worried sick about you last night. She was worried about what you might think, so she tried to call you on the phone to reassure you that everything was fine, but of course the phone lines were down. Damn it, Clint, if you don't know your wife by now, when Victoria makes a promise, that's it. She swore that you could trust her. She never wavered in her loyalty, and then you take that loyalty and that fidelity and you throw it right back in her face. My God, you don't even know what you have in Victoria's love.
Paul, you're out of line. Sarah doesn't have to defend her father.
No, it's all right, Bo. There's nothing to defend.
Why did Clint have to risk his neck flying to Georgia in a bad storm?
He didn't. Look, if Clint is so jealous that he's jumping to conclusions for no good reason...
Oh, really? He called a hotel in Elvira. Roger and Viki are there. They booked separate rooms. Now they are sharing one. Is that good enough reason?
So what, Asa? There's a storm down there. The rooms are probably flooded or the hotel's booked. I know there's a good reason for what's happening here, a perfectly innocent reason.
Yeah, Pa, she's right. You ought to listen to her. She's making perfect sense. Now, even if the reason isn't quite so innocent...
Oh.
What? Well, I said if. The fact is, why should he blame you for your dad?
Look, if you're trying to make me feel any better here, you...
No, Sarah, please. I am sorry. I am way out of line blaming you. Lord knows you're as dear to me as my own kin.
Well, thank you, Asa, but the fact remains...
The fact remains, honey, that you are not responsible for what your father does.
He hasn't done anything.
No, what Asa means...
What I mean is, because your father is a no-account, two-faced prairie snake, does not mean you're anything like him, honey.
Pa, Dad, don't you know when to quit?
Why don't you tell that to Roger Gordon? He doesn't know when to say no.
All right, I can't take any more of these accusations here. I am going upstairs to check on CJ and Al. You know, it is ironic, though, isn't it? They're only 2.5 years old, and they are a lot more mature than some of the men I know.
No, come on, Sarah.
No,
wait.
Bo. Let her go, let her lick her wounds. The truth always hurts, son.
No, it's not the so-called truth that's hurting her right now, Pa. It's you and your big mouth.
I've tried to be patient with you, Mr. Grand, but you leave me no choice.
Your Honor, please. No, please forgive me. I swear I lost myself. I won't disrupt this courtroom again, I promise.
I'm not inclined to believe you, Mr. Grand. Officers?
Your Honor, if prosecution may speak, we request that Mr. Grand be given another chance.
Well, a cynical man might say it's in your interest to keep him here, Mr. Callison, to further prejudice this jury. The defense may take a different view, Mr. Russell.
Well, we couldn't agree with you more, Your Honor. Gabrielle. Your Honor, my client has no objections to Mr. Grand remaining in the courtroom.
Very well, Mr. Grand. You may take your seat. But one more outburst, and you will find yourself in one of the cells in the basement of this building, facing a charge of contempt.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank the kind heart of the defense. Mr. Russell, can we persuade you now to continue?
Your Honor, I have no further questions.
Yes, redirect, Your Honor.
That's what we're here for, Mr. Callison.
Thank you. Miss McGillis, at the urging of Mr. Russell, you said that it was your view that Gabrielle Medina was a deeply caring, sensitive mother.
That is how I have seen her to be.
Can you offer us examples of her maternal instinct?
Your Honor.
Sit down, Mr. Russell. You had your turn.
If you're talking about my son, I have seen her with him many times, and she has always been very gentle and caring, and he responded to that love.
Could you be more specific?
I saw them together in the garden at Grandview once, and she was holding him, and she was showing him flowers, and they were having a wonderful time together, and it was obvious to me that she was very special to him.
Well, I mean, in other words, what you're telling us, Miss McGillis, is that Gabrielle Medina was always thoughtful. She was caring when it came to your son.
Yes?
Well, then I'm confused. I mean, look, if she was always so thoughtful and so caring, especially over such a long period of time, how are we to believe that she was insane when she stole the child from its rightful mother?
Well, I'm not talking about that night because I wasn't there that night.
That's right. You weren't there. So you can't tell us if Gabrielle Medina was insane or if she was a thoughtful woman who had thought up the only way that she could keep Michael Grand and his fortune.
Yes, but I can't believe that...
We're not talking about belief. We're talking about kidnapping now. A kidnapping that continued for months while Gabrielle Medina kept silent.
She was in a great deal of pain. I saw that.
Miss McGillis, I realize that now that you have your baby back, I understand why you're willing to forgive her crime. You want to forget the misery and get on with your life. It's perfectly understandable. It's even admirable, but it does not belong in a court of law. In this hall, justice is our business, and justice must prevail.
I am not trying to undermine justice. I am just trying to...
It's just that you're a person who believes in the power of forgiveness. Now, we all respect that. It may have even saved Gabrielle Medina's soul, but it is not for us to deal with her soul in heaven. It is our job to confront her crime, and confront it we must. Now, I'm going to ask you again. In all the months that you watched Gabrielle...
Excuse me, I would like to say something
McGillis,
here. Could I please make a statement?
To ask a question
I am trying
Miss
to
McGillis.
answer a question. Her, please let me answer it in my own way. Is that all right with you, Your Honor?
Since Mr. Callison has reminded the court that our sole concern is justice, let's not stand on ceremony. Don't you agree, Mr. Callison? By all means, Miss McGillis, feel free to speak your mind.
You really do believe you could get away with anything, don't you, Paul? In one breath, you can tell Sarah just how much she means to you, how much the family loves her, and then the next thing you do, you drive her out of the room with all these accusations about her father.
I said I was sorry. I snapped at her. There's no way on earth that father of hers is innocent.
Oh, and you know that for a fact, because there's no way you could be wrong, huh?
About Roger Gordon? No. He started to break up Viki and Clint from day one. And if I'm rushing to anything, it's to protect my family. I expect you to do the same. Now, whose side are you on? Your brother Clint's or that Rogers?
See, it's not all that simple for me. Don't you see that? I'm about to marry Sarah, Paul. Now, when we say our vows, that's not just going to be joining two people together. That's two lives, two families. If she hurts, I hurt.
I love Sarah as if she was my own daughter. I cannot stand her father.
Yeah, well, you may not really have a choice. Maybe you're not the big prize package to Roger and Megan that you ought to be, but they're going to have to learn to get along with my family.
Look, you and Sarah can do anything you want. You have my blessing. But don't expect me to get along with anybody named Gordon, especially a Gordon named Roger.
No, well, I'm not asking you. I'm telling you. If you really care about the way Sarah feels, about the way I feel, you better wake up and realize what all this anger and all this resentment is doing to us, Pa. We had more than one fight about Clint and Roger already. Now it looks like we're just going to keep on fighting right up until the marriage. Is that what you want? Huh?
No, of course not.
You could have fooled me. I can see us right now. Her walking up the aisle on Roger's arm, me standing up in the front of the church with Clint, and the minute they get up in the front, all of a sudden, all hell breaks loose. The Buchanans against the Gordons. I'm not going to have that. Not on the happiest day of my life.
I'm very, very sorry, Bo.
Yeah, you said that before, but you still keep pointing.
I mean it. I feel very bad. I forced Sarah to go upstairs. For a minute there, I was blinded by my stupid pride. I forgot how important Sarah is to this family. I mean, I'd go upstairs and tell it to her face, but I know she doesn't want to see me, right?
I think that's a pretty safe bet to make, yeah.
Well, just tell me what I can do.
Pa?
Your happiness in Sarah is very important to me.
Okay, all right. Pa, I know that. And I promise you, I will explain the way you feel to Sarah.
I appreciate that. Your old man, you know, he can be a mean old coot sometimes, but basically, I want you to be happy. I want both of my sons to be very happy.
And I know that, I know. And so do I.
I'm going to take off. If you do hear from Clint or Viki,
I'll call you, first thing.
You go upstairs and give your fiancé a kiss. For both of us.
Somehow, I don't think a kiss is going to work this time, Bob.
There's no secret here, the harm that Gabrielle has caused. But what I keep trying to hold on to is the good that has come out of this thing. And I think Michael Grand knows exactly what I'm talking about. Don't you, Michael? I mean, when Alicia died, you lost all hope. You had no reason to go on living. I saw you. I saw you go through that. And then you were given this little baby that you thought was your son, and you were able to pour your love into that child. And you were able to gather your strength there. And you two together, you were able to survive.
Your Honor, this is totally
Could I finish,
irrelevant.
Mr. Callison?
Well, the prosecution is saying here that our business is justice, but I can't figure out what kind of justice there is without mercy. I don't know, I guess what I'm trying to say is that when you 12 people go behind that door in there and you're trying to figure out the verdict and the punishment, I want you to really think about the effect of that verdict and punishment. And I'm not talking about Gabrielle. I'm talking about my son. I don't want my little baby growing up thinking that the woman who loved and nurtured him for the first month of his life is spending time behind bars somewhere. I do not think that is in Stephen's best interest. So, Your Honor, what I am trying to say to you is that I don't want this trial here to be some kind of exercise in revenge. I would really like to see this trial with Stephen as the heart of it. And I think that means ending it just as soon as we possibly can. I want my son, I want my Stephen Holden McGillis to just grow up and with some peace.
Miss McGillis, the court is very moved by your words and the feelings behind them. You remind us that our real purpose here is the pursuit of truth above all else. But I must instruct the jury in considering the witness's heartfelt statement. Do not overlook the facts in this case, the cold, hard facts. Mr. Callison.
No more questions.
The witness may step down.
This helps. Brenda's a real sweetheart.
Before we hear the prosecution's witnesses, I think we could all use a little rest. Court is adjourned until 10 tomorrow morning.
All rise.
Be brave, darling. The case is turning in your favor.
Did you get a look at her? What Brenda said should have made her feel better, made her feel just the other
What? Talk about feeling like a fifth wheel. Boys are getting along like gangbusters up there, and if there's a problem, Kim's there with Jessica to keep the peace.
Yeah. It's too bad that it's not that easy to keep the peace down here, huh? Honey, I'm sorry about Asa.
No, it's okay.
No, it's not okay. It isn't. There's no reason for him to take his worries out on you, and I'm not the only one that feels that way. I promised him that I was going to apologize to you for him, and this is an exact quote. Sometimes I let my stubborn pride blind me from realizing just how important Sarah is to this family. Now, that's almost word for word.
Did Asa really say that?
Yeah, he did. I didn't have to twist his arm either. He loves you, you know?
I love him, too. He just has to accept that I love my father.
I know. It's just sometimes this Buchanan loyalty, it gets in the way of everything else for him.
No, I know that. And, you know, that is one of the things that I love the most about Asa, the fact that he puts his family first. But when he starts putting my father down in the process, I can't allow that.
Well, I understand that, and so does he.
Sweetheart, there is something that I wanted to ask you about, but I wanted to wait until Asa wasn't around. You know, with Clint going down to Georgia, you don't think that he'd hurt my father, do you?
What, hurt? No, come on. Hurt Roger? Clint gets angry, but he's not a vigilante.
Well, it's just that when Vicky's involved...
No, you know what? We have to realize that we can't worry about 3 other adult lives every minute for the rest of our life. We have to start thinking about ourselves, don't we? Let Heron get that.
But what if it's Clint?
Well, if it'll ease your mind. Buchanan residence. Yeah? Viki? Is that you? Honey, listen, you're gonna have to speak up. I can hardly understand you.
Brenda, have you got a minute?
We're just on our way out.
I just want to thank you. You said a lot of kind things about me up there, and I owe you a lot.
You don't owe me anything,
No,
Michael,
please
nothing.
let me say this. What you said about Stephen and me was accurate. We gave each other strength in life. I loved him with every fiber of my being, and I will continue to love him. I will never stop. You know, the one consolation I have in all of this? No, the one joy I can grasp in all of this is that you're Stephen's mother.
You're very generous, Michael, but you please excuse us. We do have to be on our way.
I know. One more thing, Brenda. I don't know how you... I wish I could find my way to forgiveness like you seem to be able to. I find none of it in me for Gabrielle.
Well, it may take a while, but
Never. To say that I hate her is an understatement. I want her to be punished for all the pain that she's caused. I know that sounds mean and petty, but it's how I feel.
I don't know when you will forgive her, Michael, but you will. Yes, Michael, you will. Because all of your anger is not going to punish Gabrielle. Gabrielle is punishing herself. And you need to get over this. Because you are so much better than that, and you deserve so much better than this. So much more, Michael.
We really should be going to court's adjourned.
Okay. You take care, Michael, okay?
Brenda. There's one more thing I need to clear up with you.
John, when can I see her? There's no telling, Max. I told her I wanted to go over strategy for tomorrow, and she says she won't hear of it.
She is still in there, right?
Oh, yeah, for now. But she just told the sheriff that she wanted to go back to her jail cell, so we're waiting for the matron to arrive.
John, she'll talk to me. I know she will. You square with the sheriff.
Max, there's no
John,
way she...
John, let's do it, okay? Please.
Five minutes tops, Max.
It's fine. Thanks, John. Thanks. Thank you, Sheriff.
Please, just go away.
I know Brenda's testimony upset you. Michael was able to hit you with every name in the book. You didn't even flinch. But when Brenda praised you and supported you, that hurt, didn't it? Because you had to face the fact that you are not the worst thing since Lizzie Borden and that you do have a heart after all.
Brenda has the heart. She wears it on her sleeve. Poor thing, she'll never learn.
Maybe she trusts you. Has that ever occurred to you?
Of course she can trust me. Everyone can trust me to do the rotten and selfish thing. She really should have paid attention to Michael in that courtroom. You see, there's a man who can call a spade a spade. How did he describe me? Heartless, calculating, depraved. Yes, I think that sums me up.
Stop it, please.
You
stop.
and Brenda should take a course together. We'll call it Gabrielle Medina 101, and Michael can be the teacher. Complete with charts and graphs and an exam. And do you know what the essay question would be? It would be compare and contrast switching babies with the worst crimes in the world. And then you will give out the punishment, which is either the electric chair or the firing squad.
Stop it!
How can she possibly forgive me when there's no way in hell I can forgive myself?
You can. But you got to take the first step.
It's too late for that. I deserve to be locked away. If you knew what was good for you, you'd leave me alone.
You want me to leave you alone? You're a lost cause? Poor Gabrielle, nothing matters to her. Nothing means anything. It's all just a big joke. Is that right?
That's right. It is a big joke, and I'm the laughing stock. Thoughtful, caring, kind, other words like that. If that's not a joke, what is?
You're pretending not to care. That's the real joke. Trying to hide behind the bitterness and the recriminations you feel. I'm not going to let you. Because you are not a cynic. You are a fighter.
I quit.
Bull. Is this the way you pay Brenda back for what she said about you on the stand?
Brenda's a very sweet lady. She's a very naive one, too.
Why is it when people think the best of someone, they're thought of as naive? Now, why isn't that thought of as smart? And the bitterness seen as a naive point of view, People are not black and white. They exist in the gray world, good and bad, true and false. Brenda lives there. She knows it. If anyone is naive, it's you.
If you'd like to believe that, that's fine with me.
I believe in you. Brenda believes in you. You are the only one that doesn't.
No, you see, Max, I don't believe that you believe in me. I believe that you only care about what happens to me because of our son.
I'm thinking of you.
No, you're not. You're using me. You've always used me. You used me in Argentina for your own needs. You never once thought what that meant to me.
No, you were wrong.
No, I'm not
Gabrielle,
wrong.
you're wrong.
I am a world expert when it comes to you, Max Holden.
I may have taken advantage of you when we met. But people change. People do grow up. And when I say I care, I mean I care about you. Not Al, not myself, you. And I'm gonna fight for you even if you won't.
When are you gonna get it? When are you gonna understand? I don't want you to fight for me. Give it up. Throw in the towel.
I can't do that.
Then I'll do it for you. Sheriff, I want to be taken back to my cell now.
No, please. I'm sorry. All right, Miss Medina, let's go.
I meant what I said, Gabrielle. Every word of it. I'm not giving up.
Brenda, what you were saying just now, and up on the stand, is not exactly clear to me. Are you saying that I will be able to continue being part of Stephen's life?
I will never keep you away from Stephen. Not only for his sake, but for yours. He loves you. You should see each other.
You really mean that?
Yes, I mean that, and I thought about it, and I wanted to talk to you about it before the trial. You need to be together. I mean, he really loves his, Uncle Michael.
Well, I guess I can get used to the uncle. I can't thank you enough. You don't know how much this means to me to have time to spend with him. Thank you, Brenda.
Well, listen, Stephen needs us. We better get on.
Hey, Michael, listen, we'll get together with the baby soon, okay?
Okay. I'll be waiting to hear from you.
Great, I'll give you a call.
Good.
Now, Viki, look, nobody's going to take sides, okay? Now, here's the thing. If you need anything at all, if you just need to talk to somebody, pick up the phone and call me, will you? All right. Well, you take care of yourself. Bye-bye.
So, what'd she say? Is she down there with my father? Is Clint with him?
Clint and Roger are still down there. Viki left them.
Left them? Where'd she go?
She went to the airport and got on the first plane back here, and then when it landed, she hired a car and had him drive her straight up to the mountain cabin.
Wait, Vicky's at the cabin? Why? What happened down in Georgia, Bo?
Honey, I think we should just assume like a wait-and-see posture.
What should we wait for? Vicky's up at the cabin? I mean, there must be some reason. All right. What did Clint do to my father?
No, come on. Just calm down. I'll tell you everything I know. Clint barged into Roger's hotel room and found Viki there.
Oh.
Well, according to Viki, who said that everything was very innocent, Clint got angry. He didn't believe that, and he attacked Roger.
Did he hurt him?
Well, he knocked him right off his feet. Anyway, Viki was totally humiliated. She was angry, and she immediately left them and went right to the airport.
All right, well, I've got to call Georgia. I've got to find out if my father's all right. Do you think she left the number here somewhere?
Roger's fine, Sarah.
Fine. Well, it's no thanks to you, is it? How could you do it, Clint? How could you hurt my father?
At least Vicky's all right. That's the important thing.
Yes, well, I wish I could say the same about someone else.
I told you, his lip is swollen. It's a long way from his heart.
That's not the point, Clint. You attacked him. You know, and I cannot understand it. For as long as I've known you, you've been a gentleman and an understanding person. For you to react this way over nothing,
It wasn't just nothing to me. He had it coming.
Oh, Clint, so you say, but it wouldn't kill you to keep that opinion to yourself right now.
No, it's all right. I don't mind. I'd like to hear Clint's reason for being so unreasonable. That way I can respond to every ridiculous accusation.
There's nothing ridiculous about your father's feelings for Vicky, and you know that as well as I do.
No, I don't. I know that you went down to Georgia and misinterpreted what you saw. You as much as admitted that.
I might have jumped to the wrong conclusions about what was going on in the hotel room, but I wasn't wrong about Roger. He's in love with Vicky, always has been, and he's been doing everything he can to break us up.
Okay, Clint, you just go on saying that, and finally you'll probably make yourself believe it, but I won't.
Now, why don't let's stop right here before somebody says something that they're going to regret later.
It's all right. Your brother already has. He thinks my father is trying to steal his wife, and it's not true.
I don't mean to upset you. Sarah, you know how I've always felt about you.
Well, it doesn't stop you from thinking the worst about my father,
How I
does it?
feel about your father doesn't have a damn thing to do with how I feel about you.
No, Clint, you're wrong about that. How you feel about my family has everything to do with me, because you know what? The Buchanans aren't the only ones who stand up for each other, and when you attack my father, you're attacking me.
I don't see it that way.
You don't see anything.
Okay, sir, why don't you just
calm down. That's fine. That's fine. She wants to make me the bad guy. Fine. Let her have at it. I'm going to call Vicky.
Oh, Megan, dear. So glad you're still here.
Yes, for now. Max should be back soon.
Oh, well, I wanted to ask you something. I wanted to ask you a favor.
Really? What kind of favor?
Well, it's about my grandson, Al. I've been longing to see him, and I was wondering if it would be convenient if I came over tomorrow evening.
Well, sure, that would be fine. Al has been asking after Gabrielle, and Max has been trying to explain to him why he can't see his mother. I think it's very difficult for the little boy to understand. I think seeing his grandmother would cheer him up.
Yes, well, I'll do my best to do just that. I also wanted to say...
Yes?
Now, don't take this the wrong way, right? I was wondering if you felt it was actually necessary to be here in the courtroom every day.
I'm sorry, I don't understand.
Well, I'm thinking of your career. It seems to me that it's not really very good for your image to be perceived as the other woman in Max's life.
Well, Julia, I don't perceive myself as the other woman. And let's just drop this, because you're not concerned about me or my career, are you?
No, I'm not really. Your presence in this courtroom is a disturbance to my daughter. Gabrielle needs to summon up every ounce of her concentration. And your sitting next to Max doesn't help.
Well, I can understand your concern for your daughter. But I've come to this courtroom, and I'm going to continue to come here for one reason and one reason only. Excuse me, Max. Hi. You all right?
I'll survive, but Gabrielle, it's different.
Well, how is she? Did you get a chance to see her?
I did see her for a few minutes, and I'm not going to lie to you, Julia. She's very upset. I hoped I could turn her around, but...
Well, I'm sure that you did everything that you could.
I just wish I could do more.
Don't let her depression affect you. She'll be lost without you, Max. Please, try.
It's only 1 o'clock, and you've already had a long day.
It's more important things than me.
No, well, you're important to me. You know, I think that you need to have a little fun, Max Holden. So what do you say that I take you home and I make you some lunch? Yes, I will make you spaghetti. And then maybe you, me, and Al could go to an early movie or something. What do you say?
Sounds absolutely great to me. Let's blow this joint.
Max, I'm glad I caught you. We need to talk.
Oh, Herb, we're just... okay. You talk to Herb. I'll get lunch ready.
You're the best. Okay, Herb, let's make this fast. Letty's doing everything she can for me. The least I can do is try to make it home and spend some time with her.
I'll try not to keep you, but this may not be very easy for either one of us.
Well, I suppose I could call her back, but she'll just hang up on me again.
Clint, maybe you and Viki just need a cooling off period.
No, what I need is to talk to my wife. But she won't talk to me. I'm gonna go upstairs and see the kids.
I just can't stand by and watch this and do absolutely nothing. And there's only really one option I believe that I have. I've got to talk to Roger.
Sweetheart, now, you were the one who said not too long ago we should keep our distance from their problems.
I know, but what I meant was that I don't want you to get right in the middle of all this.
Oh, but it's all right for you to.
No, all I'm going to do is when Roger gets home from Georgia, I'm going to go over there. And I'm going to sit down and I'm just going to have a talk with him. Man to man. Your dad is a reasonable guy. And I'm sure that he realizes that if he just stays away from Viki right now, that everything is going to be okay.
You're talking about my father as if he's done something wrong here.
No, well, you have to admit, he is interested in Viki.
No, I don't have to admit anything. My father has done nothing wrong, Bo. Clint is the one who went down to Georgia and started a fight. Clint's the one who doesn't trust his own wife, so if you want to talk some sense into someone, why don't you go talk to your brother?
Now, just wait a minute. Now, where are you going?
I'm going upstairs to get Al and take him back to Max's. You know, I don't want to spend another minute in this house.
Okay, well, we'll meet you in the park then, all right? Oh, wait, Al, bring a sweater, too, for Stephen in case the weather changes. All right.
Everything all right?
Yeah, everything's great. Marcia's going to meet us across the street at the park with Stephen, and we can just have a nice day there, you know, just the three of us. How's that?
Yeah, good. Three of us sounds perfect. Not four. We don't need four. We don't need Michael Grant.
Honey, we have already discussed this.
Look, I understand how you feel, but I really don't think it's good for Stephen to have some stranger have a say in his life.
Wait, have you forgotten Michael raised that baby for months? I mean, they have a bond, Larry.
Yeah, I know. Well, I happen to know something about raising children, too. And children forget. They forget a lot more easily than grown-ups do. Now, you're giving Michael carte blanche to see Stephen. Is that for Stephen's sake, or is it for Michael's?
Wait a minute. Have you forgotten? Michael allowed me to go over and see that baby whenever I wanted. And it's only fair, Larry, that I do the same.
You know something? Being fair isn't always being right. Sometimes you got to be tough, Brenda. Stephen needs stability. He needs to know where he belongs and with whom, and that's with us. Just the two of us. And a third person. He does not need a third person to come in and out at his own convenience.
Okay, I agree with you. He needs stability. He needs security. He also needs love, and a lot of it. And Michael loves him deeply, and you know that.
Well, yeah, maybe he does and maybe he doesn't. I don't know. I'm thinking about what's best for Stephen and for us.
I have been thinking about that. Michael hasn't asked to raise the baby or be one of these third parties that you're talking about. He's only asked to be able to come over and love the little boy that means the world to him. Now, is that so terrible?
No, well, you put it like that? No.
Okay, Larry, that man coming over and loving Stephen is not going to hurt anything. I mean, that is only going to enrich his life. And that is what's best for all of us. Don't you think so?
What am I going to learn? I can't say no to you.
Maybe it's because you're crazy about me. Is that it?
Maybe I'm just crazy.
Come here, baby. Let's go to the park and just relax, okay?
You got it.
A witness for the prosecution? Herb, are you nuts?
Max, I'm sorry. I really am, but justice requires...
Hell with justice! That's just some word you and everyone else have been throwing around this courtroom since this trial began. Hell, I don't even know what it means anymore, but no, I am not helping you lock up Gabrielle.
Wait, you make this sound like it's a personal vendetta of mine. It's not that. I only want to see... Forgive the expression that justice is done.
Frankly, Max, I'm surprised you don't feel the same way as your nephew, Gabrielle, kidnapped.
And I don't need you to remind me of that.
Maybe you do. I mean, no one's talking about vengeance, but how can you stand back and not do everything in your power to see that Gabrielle is punished?
Let me tell you something, Herb. I may not be a prosecutor, but I know something about punishment. There are a lot of different forms, and in this case, maybe going to prison is the least of them.
Max, I can see that Gabrielle is suffering, but that does not excuse her crime.
I'm not trying to excuse her, but I am not going to help light the flames as you tie her to the stake. Now, does that answer your question?
Yes, it answers it, but it doesn't change my position. Now, if you will not voluntarily agree to be a witness against her, I'm going to have to subpoena you.
And if I refuse to respond?
Well, then, my friend, I won't have any choice but to put you in a jail cell of your own. Is Gabrielle Medina really worth that to you?
You do what you have to do, Mr. District Attorney. I'll do the same.